All right. Ding, 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 ding. Isn't that right? Is it another school in session video? Everybody loves these, right? They love this board when it comes out. So we're going to wait a few minutes until hopefully Snorlord joins in. But he's at home. So if anybody has his phone number, tell him to get online, right? Tell him to get online, because this video has to talk about what he talked about in his video yesterday. Or was it yesterday did the live feed? Or this morning? I can't remember. I watched it, the replay. So we'll see if Snorlord jumps in. In the meantime, you know, we had a good day today, right? Everything went perfect today. We got unloaded in less than an hour. Went over, got to the shipper. I was the only one there. They put me in the dock, loaded me right up, and I was out of there. And now I feel like I'm back home. I'm back in Michigan. You know, I'm at a nice little mom and pop truck stop. I feel like I'm at home. You know how it is when you get close, you know, you just feel like you're at home, right? Oh, much better now, Alex, man. Woo! I tell you what, this did the trick, man. I took 2 of these and I went to bed. I woke up feeling great. So I threw the rest of that hamburger away. That was bad news there, man. Bad news. Hey, Big Rich, you got Snorlord's phone number? Call him up, tell him to get on this live feed. All right, so let me turn this off right here so you can probably see the board. He was showing his numbers, right? He was showing his numbers, and he did like a month by month thing. And he's talking about, you know, how he has a certain running area. And I always told him, and I always tell everybody, if you have the trucking program, you can really zero in on your area and perfect it, right? And here's a demonstration. All right, I left the big orange, right? I left the big orange and got my own authority. Now here's the learning curve, right? Every time you do something, there's a learning curve. Even though I did 10 years at Landstar, 10 years at the big orange, and so on and so on, getting back in and using the different load boards and finding your right running area, right? Your right running area. Thanks, TK. Finding your right running area is what's going to make you the money. And then perfecting that running area, right? Okay, he's at the concert. All right. So, I think Snorlord was $1.23, $1.23, right? At the big orange. And he averaged that pretty much the whole time, right, this year. Well, I got my authority in April, right? I started April 1st. Now I'm going to show you what we're talking about. I averaged in April, and this shows you how I use this program. Thanks, Alex, for the super chat, buddy. This shows you how I use the Truckin' Pro software to make my business better. And that's why you got to know your cost per mile. You got to know your cost per mile. In April, when I started, I did 6,996 miles. At $1.59 was my per mile rate. This is all miles, deadhead and everything. My cost per mile was $1.03. I profited 56 cents per mile that month. I was learning the new system, right? So May, I should get better. So May, I started perfecting it a little bit more. $1.68. So I went from $1.59 to $1.68 in May. 91 cents when I cost per mile, 77-cent profit. All right. I go to June. June I did $1.78. 95 cents was my cost, 83 cents was my profit. It's going up. In July, I went from $1.78 to $1.97. $1.97 per mile for all miles. $1.02 was my cost, 95 cents was my profit per mile. Then I go to August, and these are my miles. I did 6744 in June, 7,600. August, I did 7,462 miles. At $1.92 was my rate per mile. It was down a nickel, but my cost was down also to 97 cents, and my profit was 95 cents. Right? Now, I go to September. September, I have $2.46 a mile for all miles for the 6750. My cost was $1.06, but I profited $1.40 a mile. I made $1.40 a mile. That was my profit. I go to October. In October, right now, I'm running $2.33 for all miles, $1.05 at cost, and $1.28 profit per mile. You know, that's so I can pay myself. No, I don't include home expenses in my business, because that comes out of this. Because you pay yourself as a driver, right? So all your home expenses are going to come out of this. Bottom line right here. It's going to come out of that. Because if you're a driver getting 35 or 40 cents a mile, people ask you what you make, it's 35 cents a mile, right? If the driver takes all of his home expenses out of 35 cents a mile, he might only make 1 or 2 cents a mile. Depends on what his home expenses are. But this is what I pay myself per mile. And so you can see the progression here. This is the main reason. I can show it on my program too. Anybody has doubts about these numbers, I can bring up my Truck and Pro software. That's where I got it. Sitting right up here on the screen. But it shows the progression, right? And this is what I did. I honed in. I had 7,000 miles, 9,000, 7,600, 6,700, 7,400, 6,700, 6,500. And this one's not done yet, so by the time October's done, I'll probably be about 7,000, right? Right? So, I pay myself this. I don't pay a percentage. I pay myself the profit per mile. That's what you pay yourself. Right? So, I had 56 cents profit in April. I went to 77, then I went to 83, 95, 95, 140, and right now I'm running at 128. I don't have the load I'm on right now added in here. This will come up a little bit because it's higher than this 233. My load tomorrow that I pick up going back to the house is way higher than that. It's it's about $3.50 a mile load. So see, these numbers are going to come up, and I suspect they're going to be close to September's. They're going to be pretty close to September's, right? They're going to be pretty close. But you can see, as I bettered myself in the system that I run, I try to increase my numbers each month. Now, you're going to get to some months where they're just going to average out, right? So, this here is a pretty good indicator. These 2 months here, July and August, they're pretty much the same. Okay? Yeah, and I'm only averaging, you know, I had 7,000 here, I had 9,000, I had 7,600, 6,700, 7,400, 6,700, 6,500. So I'm averaging right around 7,000 miles in a month. That's all I'm averaging. And this is what I'm doing, right? This is my profits per mile. So my profits per mile, you know, once I got it going, was running 95 cents, $95 for $1.28. The rates are up a little bit right now. But I really, September and October, I've really been watching what I've been pulling. Okay, I've really been watching what I'm pulling. Okay? That's what I'm doing. I'm watching what I'm hauling. I'm being more selective, and I'm running only the area I want to run. And that's what I'm trying to perfect. When I first started out, I just ran the area, but I just took, you know, basically whatever I could take. And this is the big difference too. This is the big difference. This was all before the 6-month mark, right? I get to the 6-month mark with your authority, and look what happens. I got a lot more people that open up their doors, right? I get a lot more people to open up their doors and look at the rates, right? What I do, my truck payment varies. So on the 10th of every month, I put in the truck payment, right? Because I'll get the bill in the mail and I put the truck payment in. If you have the same truck payment, you can go in the expense tab, put truck payment, and put in the amount, truck payment, put in the amount. You can do that 12 times, right, for 12 months. And it'll sort that up for you. You know, it'll list it, right? When you do report from like January through December, expenses by date, it'll show you all the dates. So if you missed a truck payment, right, if you had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, you missed June, so you can go in there and put it in there so you know you didn't miss nothing. Same thing with insurance. It's a 1 month thing, right? So you bring it up by expenses by date, and you should have 12 entries in each one of those, right? It's called Trucking Pro software, Daniel. It's from Fogline Software. It's called Trucking Pro. That's the name of the program. Owner Operator Edition. I use 2 editions. I use the Owner Operator Edition for myself because I have my tractor trailer leased on to the corporation, and I use the Fleet Manager one to manage the fleet, mine and Gear Grabber's truck. So I'm doing a lot of double entry because I want to keep it separate because I put myself onto the carrier just like other people do. You go to Fogline Software, Fogline software.com, and you can download. It's a whole working version. I think it's a 10-day free trial, something like that, 7 or 10-day free trial. You can put stuff in there, check it out. And if you want to purchase it, put the letter JL10, letter JL10, and you'll get $10 off. And it runs on Windows only. So if you have a Mac and you have it partitioned to run Windows on one partition, you can run it on a Mac, but you have to have it partitioned. So what I did is, because I have all Apple stuff, right? I got all Apple stuff. So I went out and bought this Toshiba computer right here. That's sitting over here. I got it the cheapest Toshiba I could find. It's about $200. And I use it just for the Trucking Pro software and the tax program. That's the only 2 programs I put on that computer. And that's all I use it for. Strictly business, just those. But see, this is to help Snorlord out. I sat there each month and I looked at my Trucking Pro and I said, okay, I got to do something different. I got to get these numbers up. But I'm going to stay in the same area. And so I do it again, so then I can look, right? I can say, hey, May I did it. I went up 9 cents. May to June I went up 10 cents. And then from June to July I went up 19 cents. I went down a nickel in August because I ran a few more miles. I took a few cheaper loads. But then I went up 54 cents and I'm down about 13, but I don't have these other 2 loads in there. The one I'm delivering and the one tomorrow. And this load here was $2.50 a mile, and the load I'm doing tomorrow was $3.50 a mile. So, and if I take a load on Monday that's $3 or $4 a mile, this is going to get up to this. That's my goal before the first. I'm going to try to get to that $1.40 profit. Right? That's what I'm going to try to get to. I'm going to try to beat this 246. I don't know if I can do it because I don't know if I have enough when you do the miles and everything. Right? So that's what Snorlord, you know, for Steve when he watches the video, I watched what I was doing. I tried to increase the profit per mile. I tried to increase my rate per mile. And my expenses, they fluctuate. And as you can see, the more miles you do, the less your expenses are. See, at $6.99 I'm $1.03, at $67.50 I'm at $1.06. You know, because it goes by your miles. Because it gets divided in there. But I'm increasing my profit per mile every month. Is what I'm trying to do. Right? So I figure I'm going to hit somewhere in this area is going to be my average for the rest of the time. When it comes January, February, March, I'm going to try to be right around the 95 to $1 on the profit side. Okay? That's what I'm thinking anyway. We're going to see if we can keep it up over here through November and December in this area. Because I have it down pretty good in the area I run. I have certain brokers I'm running for, and I just tell them what I want. And if I don't get what I want, guess what I do? I look and find me another load. And I find me a load that I get what I want. You know what I mean? That's what happens. That's how I do it. That's how I run the short haul game. And I stay in the area I like. Now, see, I got a little bit out of my area. Well, not out of my... I didn't really get out of my area. I went to Iowa, right? I went to Iowa. So, here's those numbers. I'm going to erase this stuff. Right? I'm going to erase this stuff. And we're going to show you. Look. Look. The taxes are... You pay taxes... and everything you do in life, right? When you buy your fuel, you're paying the tax man. When you're buying stuff for the truck, you're paying the tax man. When you're buying stuff in the store, you're paying the tax man. So you're paying the tax man all over the place. Oh, there's ways around taxes. There's always ways around taxes. Depends on your deductions. Depends on your deductions, man. Right? It depends on your deductions. Right? That's what it depends on. Everybody has different deductions, everybody has different setups. So one tax bill doesn't fit everybody. Right? Just doesn't. Yukon, he pays tolls. That's right, you pay enough tolls. Right? You pay enough tolls, and guess what? You don't have to pay taxes because it all went to the toll road. If you're Yukon and you're up there in New York, and you run that New York Thruway, right? Man, you pay a lot of taxes on that New York Thruway. So, everybody tries to figure out, you know, by these calculations. I mean, you can figure it out. It doesn't take a rocket science, you know, figure that stuff out. Is short haul hard on the truck, and would you had back more maintenance if you didn't have a full maintenance? No, I don't think it's harder. I don't like this truck here. I got 268,000 miles on it, and it's doing just fine. Really, all they've really done to it is oil changes and stuff, DOT inspections on it. I had one alignment done on it. I don't get the wear on the drive tires that I used to get, you know, running over the road long haul. Long haul, I could go about 500,000 miles on the drive tires. Every set of drive tires I've owned, for all the trucks I've owned, I always got 500,000 miles on them. This, I'm going to need new drives on the rear, on the drive axle, probably the end of this month here coming up, or sometime in November before the snow flies, because they're getting down there. So they'd last about 280,000. That's 120,000 short than what I usually would, you know. 120, 220. So about a year and a half or so than what I used to get. And that's because of the short haul turn-in radius and everything. And I also think it's because no, my truck is off. That's the truck next to me. He's idling. I'm not idling. It's like 50 degrees out, or 48 degrees. Why idle? I got the heater on. If I take this down, see, the heat's on. I got the Webasto heater on. That's the truck next door, and he's loud, man. His idle is loud. But there's no reason to idle it. It doesn't make any sense. He's wasting fuel, right? He's wasting $3 an hour, anywhere from $3 to $3.50 an hour sitting over there. So by the end of the night, he could have went to Motel 6 and had his truck up and had a shower in the morning and slept in a bed and watched TV for what he's going to spend in diesel, just sitting out here idling all night. You might as well just get a motel room and save on your truck motor, because it's just as cheap to get a motel room as it is to idle your truck. So think of that, fellas. People are like, I'm spending $40 a night or $35 a night in a motel room. Why? You're doing it idling the truck. Same thing. You're just blowing out the stack. But see, the people don't think. They don't use their brain to realize that that's costing them money. Right? They don't realize it. Right? So there's other ways. Yeah, I'm not running my APU. See, I spec'd the truck out. Yeah, I ordered this truck from the dealer. We sat down together. I ordered exactly like I wanted it in case I wanted to buy it, right? In case I wanted to buy the truck, I wanted to have it exactly. So here's what I did. I got it with the carrier APU, which has, 6,000 watts of power. It has an electric heat, right? It has electric heat. So I could start up the APU and turn on the heat, and I'd be heating the truck up, right? But I also ordered it from the factory with a Webasto heater installed by the factory. Why? In the wintertime, I don't run the APU. I'll run the Webasto heater, and then if the batteries start to go down, the APU will start up and charge the batteries up. Now, in the winter, what I do is this. I'll run the Webasto heater, and then when I get up in the morning, right, to go in the truck stop and get coffee and all that, I'll start the APU up. And I'll let it warm up. And while I'm in there, it'll warm up the engine block. So when I come out to start the truck, it fires right over real easy because the oil's warm, right? The engine's warm. So that's how I do it. AM35, thanks for the super chat, man. I appreciate it. The circle numbers times everybody's trying to figure out. What are you trying to figure out, man? What are you trying to figure out? Here, I'll tell you a calculation. Look. Take 6750 times 1.40. What do you get? Who's trying to figure out? The professor. The professor. Go ahead, professor. What's 6750? There you go. There you go. You don't have to do no 4.333 because these are monthly numbers. You don't have to do 4.333. All right, Two Broke Tim, what's going on? Car hauler Tim's in the house, everybody. What's going on, Tim? So, we're done with this. We take these numbers right on off here. Now, that's to show Snorlord what's going on. So, here's how I do the short game, right? Here's how I do the short game. You like that? You like that, Dre? That was an easy, just wipe it right off there, right? All right, here's how I do the short game. I take where you live, right? You put a dot on the map where you live. And we'll do it right here in the middle. Let's do it in the middle. Boom, we live right here. This is where we live. Now what I do is I draw a circle, right? You draw a circle around there, somewhat of a circle. That's not really a circle, right? You draw a circle around there. You draw a circle around where you live, and it's 500 miles in all directions, right? So no matter where you go, this is 500 miles. All right? And that's your running area. You don't go over here, or over here, over here, unless the load pays really, really good or you just want to change the scenery. But 90% of the time, you stay within the 500-mile radius. Now, I went to Iowa, right over there in Davenport area. And then I went down and got a load out of just south of Muscatine. Well, that's about 500 miles from my house. So I stayed within my 500-mile limit. Now, my week went like this. And to show you, here's my week. I'll show you my week. Here's my week. I'll get this little handy tool called the Daily Agenda Book. Now, we'll open it up, and everything's written in here, right? We'll open it up. Let's put this thing back. Let me slide this so it stays up there. All right. So we put this back up, and we're going to show you. All right. So open this book up. So on Monday, all right, I was in Michigan, and I went to Michigan. Okay, that's what I did on Monday. And I went to, I deadheaded down to Fort Wayne. I went to Indiana, right? That's where I ended up. So when I got to Indiana, this is my next load. That's load 1. The next load, I went Indiana to Kentucky. That was Louisville. All right, that was my second load. And then I deadheaded over to Indiana again. All right. Then I went, my third load, I went Indiana to Indiana. That's what I did there. Then I deadheaded to Indiana. It's about 20 miles. So my fourth load was Indiana to Iowa. And I deadheaded to another place in Iowa. My fifth load's Iowa to Michigan. And my sixth load is Michigan to Michigan. That's tomorrow. So that's what I've done since Monday. Did a small load of Michigan. I went over to Indiana. I went Indiana to Kentucky. Deadheaded back to Indiana. And I did Indiana to Indiana. Indiana to Iowa. Iowa to Michigan. I'm going to do a Michigan to Michigan. And then Monday, I'll probably do a Michigan to Michigan or a Michigan to Indiana or Ohio or something like that. And then I'll finish it off with another load either, you know, around the 3-state region. But see, it's all close. It's all within that radius. Actually, all this right here, to this point, all this was within a 400-mile radius. This was within the 400, and this is within the 500, that load there. And then all the rest of this stuff is within a 200. All that was within a 200-mile radius. So that's the short game. That's what I did so far. It'll be about a 1700 mile week this week. Something like that. When I get home, it'll be about 1700 miles. And I'll be on tomorrow afternoon sometime. So that's how you perfect what you're doing. And you're not going to know how you're doing unless you run some type of a program that tells you your cost per mile and your rate per mile that you're averaging for all miles, right? That's the only way you're going to know. And then you sit there and you fine tune it, right? And if you need to make more per mile, then you gotta negotiate with the brokers for what you need. And then just don't settle, because there's tons of loads. Call until you get the one you need, until you get what you need, right? And that's what you do. Okay, you spoke to an owner-operator today that insisted his cost per mile was 29 cents a mile. Oh, what was he thinking, Skull? That he was saying 29 cents a mile was, and he thinks fuel's his only expense, or something like that. As you see, well, I erased it, but as you see, my cost per mile ranged all the way up to $1.06, right? It went in the 90s to $1.06 and back down. You know, it fluctuates depending on your miles that you run in each month. The lower the miles, the more cost it's going to be. But as you see, I do really good profit because I run low miles, high rate per mile. Therefore, I have a better profit per mile. Yeah, Professor, you can. Just email me. There you go. You gotta go. Groundhog is here. Where's Groundhog? Hey, Mike, what up? Yeah, I use Trucker Pro. Owner-operator edition. Oh, Big Rich. Big Rich got jokes today. Right? Fernando, we answered that question. It's Trucking Pro from foglinesoftware.com. Use the code JL10, get yourself $10 off. No, Charles, that's not 500 air miles. That's 500 actual road miles. I don't use air miles in calculations. I use actual miles. And like I said, sometimes I'll go out of that radius. Sometimes I'll go out. Like I went down to Florida, right? I went down to Marietta, Florida. Because the load paid really good, and I had to load right back out of there, coming right back up to Ohio. That's the only. See, I only do that when I know I got something right back to where I like to run, to my running area. So, oh, George says the wind is kicking his butt in Ohio. Yeah, man, that wind was bad. Whew, man, I'm glad I had 34,000 pounds on, man, because that wind was whipping. I come out of there and come across 80. It was pretty bad wind, man. Jay says, sorry, got locked up. Why are certain YouTubers against your logic? Like you seem on point. I am not understanding the contradiction, and you're gonna APU next truck. You talked about not doing it. Well, that's up in the air. I don't even know if I'm gonna get another truck. I might just buy this. I don't know what I'm gonna do yet. I still got 2 years. I got 2 years to figure it out. It depends on how I grow the company. You see, there's a lot of things that go with that, right? It depends on how I grow the company and stuff. If I have enough guys on at that time the insurance company lets me, and if I do another full maintenance lease, I don't know if I'm going to do the APU because I don't know how much the trucks will be running, right? If I'm only going to run it 3 days a week because the other 4 I'm at home doing office stuff and things like that, then that extra $9,000 doesn't make much sense if you can't make up the money from not idling the truck, because you have to spend the money, right? So there's a lot of things that go into it. Send me an email at liketrucking@gmail.com. I didn't see it. it could make sense on the resale value, says Skull. Get a loan and buy FedEx. Too broke, Tim. You're funny, man. Yes, Don Cheek. I'm drinking some Big Orange. Go full-time broker. You have tons of drivers. Well, I thought about getting the brokerage thing going, but I don't think I'll do that until I get at least 5 trucks, and then I'll go and spend the extra money for the brokerage stuff, I think. But that's in the future, right? That's going to be a few years down the road because of how the insurance companies, got a stranglehold on you. Well, Paco, see, there's a problem with that. You really do need software because, see, Snorlord used to do it like you're doing, right? He had this book. He wrote all of his stuff down in it. And what you do on paper does not come out nowhere near what it is on a computer program. Because you really don't know how to adjust your business, right? Okay, you're going to know just by doing that what your cost per mile is, but you're not going to know what's costing you that cost per mile. You're not going to know how much your insurance is costing you. You're not going to know how much tolls are costing you. You're not going to know how much truck washes are costing you, insurance, and everything to do with the business, because it breaks it down, right, to the penny. So I can bring mine up. I can see exactly what each item's costing me, right? You can track all the items and it'll tell you exactly what it's each costing. Then you can sit there and go, well, hey, I'm really spending way too much on fuel. So do I need to get a better fuel mileage? Do I need to slow down a little bit? Am I going too fast? Do I need to start watching where I buy fuel? If you're doing a lot of truck washes, you say, man, that cost me a lot per mile. Maybe I'll take one of those out every once in a while, or scale tickets, or you gotta know. You got to know. So, Limited Skate Money says, I'm from an engineering background. People are the ones that program the software. Nothing beats a human brain. Old Pale Rider says, good luck, Big Rich. All right, Pale Rider. There you go. Yeah, John. John says he's able to drop his cost by 20 cents per mile of Trucking Pro. You got to know, Big Rich says, makes me question my judgment. No, Pale Rider's got one. You just sit around long enough, you'll get something. Pale Rider knows. You know what, Pale Rider? I'll tell you something, buddy. I was 14 miles from Arlene's, man. And I almost went there. Because it's pot roast night. Oh, man. I almost went to Arlene's and got the pot roast. I ain't kidding you guys, man. When they bring out the pot roast, it's like that. It's like a whole pot roast. Just, so I don't know how they make any money there. I really don't know how to make any money there. But I didn't, man. I passed it up. I came up here and got my parking spot. And, had some stuff in the fridge to eat anyway. Welcome back. What are you doing at Arlene's now? It's not exit 98, man. It's exit 92. There you go. Now you got it. Go in there and get the pot roast. I think it's pot roast special on Thursday night, right? But they usually don't have anything left past 6 o'clock. Usually. The gear grabber keeps them in business. Yes, I know. Pale Rider says 14 miles off-road is worth the pot roast at Arlene's. Yes. You know what? If I went there, got the pot roast I would have just stayed there, right? Because there'd be no sense to leave, because if you ate all that, you're gonna go into your truck, lay down in your bunk, and you're gonna be comatose because it's just so much food. So, and I'm trying to lose weight, so I didn't want to eat all that food. But I could have went there anyway and got half and ate the pot roast and put half of it away in the fridge for tomorrow, right? I do that a lot. When you go to Arlene's, that's what you got to do, because if you eat all that, man, you're not driving. You better be staying for the night. Pale Rider ate there. Pale Rider ate there, and I'm not going to tell everybody, but he stayed there for 2 days, right? He stayed there 2 days. He got so full, he slept for 2 solid days. And then he got up, got himself a cup of coffee, and rolled on. I'm sorry, Pale Rider, I had to tell your secret. Big Rich says he tried pallet meatloaf recently. I was honestly surprised at how delicious it was. Well, Big Rich, I'll tell you what. I tried it Wednesday. I believe it was Wednesday. Yeah, Wednesday. Wednesday evening when I met Lowell, truck stop. Talked to him for a while, and we got the meatloaf. And it was actually surprisingly not bad, right? It had a meat texture to it. It was kind of sweet, but it really wasn't bad, you know, because it's probably Gordon or Cisco or something like that, probably. But it sure beat the TAs, right? It sure beat the TA. I'll tell you that. The TA's meatloaf is not no good. But the meatloaf at Pilot was surprisingly good, and it was hot. It was fresh, you know. They just brought it out. And so, you know. Yeah, Dan Isaac says truck stop food is disgusting. He makes his own. Yeah, I make my own too a lot. And anyway, Arlene's though, you got to go to Arlene's. Have to go to Arlene's, man. That food there is worth it. All the locals go there. They don't have a whole lot of room there. I think you can get about, let's see, five or six trucks in that row, and maybe 10 in the back row, maybe 16 trucks. But you usually always get a spot because it's off the beaten path, because you can't see it from the highway. And when people get off the ramp and they look, they don't see it, they just keep going, right? They'll go down the rest area, or they'll go up to the Pilot or TA at the 104. Arlene's is at exit 92. And you got to go north about a half mile. Between a quarter and a half mile up the road, so you can't see it. And that's what happens. People get off the ramp and they look and they don't want to turn because they don't know where they're going to go, so they just get back on the highway. They just go right across and keep on trucking. Right? I cook some awesome meals. I got meals on these videos, man. I cook omelets, enchiladas, homemade spaghetti, steak, chicken. You know, it's in Michigan, I-94, exit 92. Go north. It'll be on your right-hand side. One Pot Chef YouTube channel is great. All right, Steven, I'll check that out, man. Hamburger Helper? Yeah, you make Hamburger Helper. I got one of those 12-volt skillets. And I brown the meat. You can throw the box of Hamburger Helper in there and some water and put the lid on it. 10 minutes, you're ready to go, man. The rice cooker is good to also cook pasta in, Big Rich. It cooks good pasta in a rice cooker. Yes, Daniel. Pale Rider says you guys have a customer near there, and you do. But Pale Rider won't come up here. It's getting cold, man. It's getting cold. Snow's going to be flying. So Pale Rider is not going to come up here. You might next summer. Big fan of rice cookers. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with rice cookers. But mine's a microwave rice cooker. That's what I use to cook the pasta in. Because I use that up there in that microwave. Right up there. Rig Rich says he'll be in the southeast until the snow is gone. That's funny. See, I don't mind when the winter time comes because everybody goes south, and it leaves more freight for me, and the rates go up because they have less trucks to haul it. Yeah, Dre 4. I do have electric skillet. It's 1500 watts, I believe, and it does a really good job. 12-inch electric skillet. That's what I usually cook everything in. Daniel says he haven't been out of there in Michigan since he's left the last company for Central Hauling. And Skull likes Whirlpool. Whirlpool, baby. Big Rich says if there's a rate he can't turn down, he'll brave the snow. It has to be fantastic. You crack me up, man. So anyway, you know, you run your radius and try to stay within that radius, and then you even shorten it down even further, and that's what I tried to perfect. So as you can see, when I learned the new system, April was not a good rate. It was decent but not good, and then I got all the way up for van freight, all miles. You know, I'm running 240, 233 for the last 2 miles, and before that I was, you know, right around the $2 mark for all miles. But Jeff, do you what for? What is that? Do you what for Snyder? I don't understand. You wish the Big Orange would let you own trailers. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? If you could, if they'd pay a percentage, you know. Yeah, I used to work for Snyder for 10 years, but I don't work there anymore. I have my own authority. Let's see. I've been trying to get in touch with Planet Fitness about trucking spots around their facilities. Wouldn't that be cool, Big Rich? That'd be good, you know, because, you know, the Petro and all them, remember they tried those gyms, right, in the trailers? They tried those gyms. They parked out by their things and charged, you know, a fee and stuff, you know, monthly fee or whatever it was to use those gyms. And they didn't go over real well, right? Super chat on way since you're late, Juan. Is that what you're saying? Yeah, they didn't go over real well. And it'd be nice if Planet Fitness, right, would, because most of them, a lot of them are in, you know, big shopping malls and things like that. It'd be nice if they had a few truck spots, right? Like 5 or 6 truck spots way out back. Wouldn't that be nice? I heard somebody like detach a fifth wheel or something. It sounded really close. So I will check my fifth. I always check my fifth wheel pin in the morning anyway, because you never know. So I'll do that. I heard it. Did you hear the click? So, see, my curtains are drawn, so I can't see out the window. But, you know, usually, you know, that could be somebody getting ready to detach and go home, maybe. Oh, I'm not worried about it. I'm not worried about it. If they come up in this truck, they're going to wish they never did. That's all I got to say. They're going to wish they never did. Here, let me see what's going on out here. Let me see. I don't know. There's a bunch of people walking around, and they're dressed up in Halloween costumes or something. That won't help if they use a puller. Big Rich. Big Rich says he puts razor blades of salt on his fifth wheel handle at night. You know what, Big Rich? I hook up electricity to the handle on mine, so you might get an electric shock. Snowlord says always he checks his pin just because he's in a pumpkin trailer. Well, yeah, you know, and I always do anyway too, because you never know, you never know what people do. So that's what I do. Anyway. But yeah, people ain't going to want to come up into this truck. It's protected. What's this say? Honestly, I pull the trailer brake and pull forward, putting tension on the locking jaw. Yeah, you do that too, and they can't pull it. They really got to use a pin puller then if they're going to pull that, and they got to pull, put a lot of oomph in it, right? Well, there is some bull haulers that come through, so they might have parked back behind, and then when they stop, you get that big from all the cattle and stuff rattling around back there. Hey, Solo, no problem, man. All right, so we are. What time is it? Let me get my fog line software out of here, and yeah, we're going to shut her down. So we'll end this right about the 1 hour mark. So, we'll talk for a couple more minutes. And then we'll close her down. And it was just another thing. I watched Snorlord's video today, Steve Allington's video. And, he showed his numbers. And that's the thing with YouTube, okay? Look, there's some guys that show their numbers, right? Steve shows his numbers. And they're good numbers for him because he's doing what he wants to do, and he gets home when he wants to get home. And can you do better than that where he's working at the pumpkin patch? Sure you can, right? Sure you can. He doesn't have the expenses that a lot of guys have. His truck payment's a lot lower than the average Schneider driver, because a lot of the Schneider guys that they have are on Schneider finance trucks, right? So his expenses are a whole lot cheaper, which means he doesn't have to run as hard. His rate per mile can be what it is, and he can still make, a decent profit per mile. And here's what I've always said. If you own a truck, lease a truck, it doesn't, to me, terminology, that does not matter. If you're lease purchasing a truck or leasing it from a company, you're an owner-operator. You're buying the truck. You're paying for the truck, right? You're paying for it. So whether you own it, leasing it, buying it, doesn't matter where you get it from. Bank, Lone Mountain, Schneider, Swift, JB Hunt, doesn't matter. If you're paying the payment on the truck, you're an owner-operator. So, and a lot of the guys, right? When you throw your numbers up there, there's people going to say, that's not good, this ain't good, you should be doing better than that. But you know what? You don't see none of them throwing their numbers up there, right? Because most of the guys don't know their numbers. Most of the guys don't know what it costs per mile to run their truck. They don't know what their truck costs, what their insurance costs them, what their fuel's costing them. They don't know it. They can't tell you. So how do they know if it's okay? They don't know. So here's what I always tell everybody. It doesn't matter how you're buying the truck or how you got the truck or what you're doing. As long as you're happy, and if you make just as much as a company driver and you can pick your own freight, you're way better off because you're doing what you want to do when you want to do it. You can go home when you want to go home. So that's what I always tell everybody. It doesn't matter. If you go out and buy a $150,000 truck and you end up with 35 or 40 cents a mile, and that's what a company guy's making it when it's all said and done, so what? You got it better than the company guy. Why? Why do you have it better than the company guy? Because the dispatcher's telling him where he's going, when he can go. He got to stay out for, 10, 14, 18 days before he gets a day off. You can go home whenever you feel like it. because you're in control of your business, right? So it's called freedom. And you know, if you can make just as much as what you did driving a company truck, but now you have the freedom to pick and choose where you want to go, it's worth it. Because you don't have to ask. You're a growing man. You don't have to ask somebody if you can go home and get permission, right? Can I have permission, please, to be home next week because, you know, my son's got a soccer game, or my son's got a baseball game, or my daughter's got this or that. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like, you know. Hey, Snorlord, what's up, man? Yes, we're talking about you. And I had all the numbers up, Snorlord. And we're talking about, you know, how you went through your numbers today and you didn't think they were that great. And, you know, some people might say, oh, that's not good. And I was saying, it all depends on what you need to live on. It depends on your circumstances, what's good or not. And everybody's numbers are different. And then I was showing how I improved my numbers by looking at the Fogline software and tracking what I was doing every month. And then I learned my area better and picked different loads to get me to where I wanted to be. And I showed each month my progression, right? So I could show you, Snowlord, since you're here, I'll show you what I was talking about. All right. So for Snowlord, here comes the numbers again. I got Fogline software up. And so this is what I did, Snowlord. I started in April, right? You're going to get the full thing right here. And we're going to put them up there as we go. All right, so here we go, everybody. This is going to be a little session. So for April, and this is when I first got it, Snorlord. This is when I first got the authority. And you know me, we're good friends. And you talk to me all the time. So you know my running area, right? I got a 500-mile radius running area, and I usually don't leave it, right? I usually don't leave it. So, for April, man, I got to get glasses, man. Squint. Okay, for April, this is what it was. Check it out, Snorlord. We're going to use purple today. Okay, here's April. All right, we did $1.59. This is the per mile for all miles. Okay, our cost was $1.03, and our profit was 56 cents. Okay, that's the profit on 69.96 miles. Okay, so I check out my Fogline software, Snowlord. You know I keep track of them numbers good. So I said, well, in May I got to do better. And I was just learning the system. You know, I was just getting everything going. I wasn't really trying that hard. In May I did a lot of miles, which I shouldn't have done that, but you know, I was running around just doing whatever. And I'm going to show you how the progression went. All right, so in May, this is how the progression went. In May, we did 9,079 miles, and we did $1.68, and this went down to 91 cents for the cost, and the profit was 77 cents. Okay, then June, July, August, September, October, and you're going to get those numbers right now. All right, so I'm going to go in here and change the date to June. Yeah, extra session because, you know, we had tardiness of the Snorlord. So everybody blame the Snorlord for the extra credit here. All right, so June was 7,625, something like that. If I read this right, $1.78. This is $1.78 in June, right? And then we got 95 and 83. 95 profit. No, 83 profit. This was 95. And this was 83. All right, so now we'll go to July real quick. We'll get July in there. So you see, Snowlord, how I'm progressively getting better, right? I'm learning the area better, right? The rates are going up. The miles are starting to stay the same. Okay? So we go to the next one. We got 67.44 in July with 197 on the rate. And we got 95 and $1.02. So we got 95-cent profit and $1.02 for cost. All right. You see that? Snowlord, is my feed okay for you? Are you getting this? Are you getting this? So now we go to August. Right? So we go to August. And I'll tell you what it means. And you can see the rows. All right. So August, we do 74.62. Right? We do 74.62 in August. Now, we do $1.92 was our profit for all miles. $1.92. And we had 97 cents expense and a 95-cent profit. All right. So now, as you can see, Snowlord, we went $1.59, $1.68, $1.78, $1.97, $1.92. All right. So we're pretty much even right now. So we go to September. All right. And you can see the miles are starting to stay right around 7,000 miles for the months, right? That's what we're staying at. So I'm honing it in. And now I'm making them pay higher. I'm not taking what they tell me. I'm negotiating better as the time goes on. And we get 67.50 on the miles for September. Still right around that 7,000 mark, 67.50. We're at 246. 246 for all miles, loaded and empty, all miles for dry van. $1.40 for the profit, and $1.06 for the cost per mile. So we went 56-cent profit, 77, 83, 95, 95, $1.40. Now we go to this month here, October. All right, so I bring up October. And here's the finale, Snowlord, up till today. They don't include this load or tomorrow's load. And each one of these loads will beat this rate per mile that this is showing. So this is going to go up. And then I'll still have Monday and Tuesday to work on the number. Okay, so we got 65.79 so far for the miles. So I'm still be right around the 7,000 mark by the time I'm done. 233 for all miles. And we have a profit of $1.28 and a cost of $1.05. Okay, so there you go, Snowlord. This is what I was trying to show. I used my program here, and I see in April when I first started, you know, $1.59, not so great, but I'm learning the system. I wasn't really trying that hard. So then I go into May, and I do a lot of miles, which I usually don't like to do, but I did. And I said, well, I got to get back to the basics. So in July, I increased it another 10 cents, but I lowered the miles down to the 7,000 range. And then I go to $1.97, and I'm under 7,000. $1.92, I'm in the sevens. 246, I'm below 7, and 233, I'm still below 7. So that's what I did, and my cost per mile stays between the 90 and $1.05. And you can see that your cost per mile is going to go up with less miles, down with more miles, because that's the math. And so if I stick around 6,500 to 7,500 miles, I'm right around 95 cents a mile. And my rate's up there. My profit's good. See, I'm at $1.28 right now, $1.40 last month, and I was right around 95 cents, those right there. And then my cost per mile is right here, and it ranges from 91 cents to about $1 and a nickel, depending on miles. So there you go. If you like the video, hit the thumbs up. If you don't like it, hit the thumbs down. And if you don't care either way, hit the thumb sideways. There's two of them. It's sideways, one on the left, one on the right. And ring the bell several times. And if you like Skoal, tell him you like him. Right? So without this program, I would not know exactly what's going on. I would not know what's happening. No, I didn't get a haircut, John. I'm getting one, though, when I get home. All right? I wouldn't know what's happening. So, there you go. Yeah, so, I went through this whole thing, and, you showed your Trucking Pro program. I can show mine, too. It's right here on the screen, and it's got everything on there. It shows you what it is. And, it breaks it all down. So, like in parking, right, I had $36 worth of parking this month. It cost me 1/2 cent per mile. Right? So if I didn't pay for parking, I would have 1/2 cent per mile more on the profit line. My insurance was 16.7 cents a mile. My truck fuel is 41 cents, and so forth. So I know if I, go lower on the fuel, get, see if I can get better fuel prices, I could bring that down. My average fuel cost for October is $2.89 a gallon. $2.89 a gallon so far. That's my average price per gallon for October. But there you go. Without the program, I wouldn't know these numbers. I wouldn't know what to do to get these numbers adjusted. And you really don't know how you're really doing without something like that telling you and how you can adjust it. The promotion code for Fogline Don is JL10. Letter J, the letter L, and the number 10. And you'll get $10 off. You ring the bell when you eat at Arby's? You like the service? Ding, 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 right? All right, man. We're going to end it right there. And Snorlord, I was also showing the running area, right? I said if you want to make the money, you got to do really a regional thing. Because if you do long haul, you're burning way too much fuel. It's just more costly, man. You got more fuel, and the more miles means more maintenance, and everything just goes up. And here's what I showed. You take where you live, and you take your circle, and you go out however far you want to go, 500 miles in each direction on the map. And you draw a circle around that. Get the map of the United States out, put where your home is, and run some Google. How many miles is it from your house, let's say, over to Indy or wherever. And when you hit 500 miles, you put a point, go south, over here and over here, and then draw your circle, and then that's your running area. And you can go out of it a little ways like I do, because if it pays good, but you come right back into your area, right? If you go out of the area, let's say you go 700 miles, but you get a short load back into your area. You don't stay out of your area, you go back into the area, right? And yes, it runs on Windows. It uses Microsoft Access to run. So you got to have a Windows-based computer that can run Access. But if you have a Mac, you can parallel it and run the Windows on the parallel, and it'll work there too. Yeah, no PA. I mean, you lost more money in PA if you just took 2 short loads. You'd have made more money, right? Right, Snorlord? Well, not only too far, you used a lot of fuel, man, up and down those mountains. Come on. You know you did. You know you did. Used a lot of fuel. You didn't get the fuel mileage you usually get. I think it's got to be newer. I don't know. If you get on foglinesoftware.com and shoot Ray an email, he'll get right back with you and tell you. I think it's in there too. I think he'll tell you what it'll run on, the compatibility, if you go to his website. But see, I bought a cheap computer, this one right here, just to run the program. See? I bought this cheap Toshiba just to run the Truckin' Pro program and to run the H&R Block Tax Cut or TurboTax or whatever tax software you run. That's all I run on here. That's all I run on this computer, and it's a touch screen, so that's pretty cool. But it only costs $200, right? It's a cheap computer, so that's all I run on it. You know, and it does this too. It's kind of neat, right? It flips around here like this, so it can be a touchpad. See, now it's a touchpad computer, right? So you can touch it, and it brings stuff up. It's a touchpad. But that was only $200. So Windows and parallels will cost $150 anyway. Yeah, that's why I just bought that. You know, something, it was cheap. One was on sale specials, and it works fine for that because that's all I use it for. So there you go. Session's over. We're done with school. We're done with all this learning junk. Thanks for everybody that gave me a super chat. I appreciate it. Now we're gonna get off here, and here, Snorlord, here's to orange. What do you think? Cheers, mate. Anyway, and I laughed, man. I laughed about when you talked about the restaurant, right? That was cool. I can just see you now. You going in this nice fancy little restaurant, and you got your Megadeth. What was it, Megadeth, or your heavy metal gear on, right? And you sit down there, and you felt out of place, right? You felt out of place. Oh, I can just see it now. It's kind of like walking into Ruth Chris's without a suit coat on, right? And you got t-shirt and flip-flops. I can just imagine. Yeah, and you're right. That's how those restaurants do that, right? They'll serve you really good stuff, coffee and all that stuff, and then as time goes on, they start lowering the quality, wanting more money, more profit, and then it just ends up like any other chain, just a place to fill your stomach because the food's not any good anymore. Yes, where was the coffee review? You could have had Mrs. Snorlord filming you while you're doing the coffee review. What, everybody, don't you think that's what he should have did? Pale Rider? What do you think of that? That's what he should have done, right? Isn't that what he should have done? Alex is driving. Well, be safe, Alex. Larry, what's going on? Yes, Pale Rider gives us the real coffee reviews. Yeah, Mickey D, man. Whew. Gear Grabber had some Mickey D's. It didn't go well for him. You know what I mean? And the hamburger I bought from the Our Restaurant, Morris, Illinois, that didn't go well either. Didn't go well. Plus it was overpriced. Way overpriced. But okay, so we're out of here. We're going to shut her down. And everybody that, because, you know, Snorlord, you still on here? Throw a yes up there real quick. I'm gonna prove a point. Snorlord on here? Or did he leave? He's probably at home sleeping. Alright, Snorlord, this is for you. I have some guys on here that said that they do all their, they keep all their, track all their stuff in a notebook. Right? They take their money divided by, you know, their miles and everything, they get their cost per mile. But you really don't know the real number unless you have a computer program, some type of computer program that you put everything in, everything that's to deal with your business, and it breaks it down to the penny. That's the only way you really know what your operation is doing. Because Snorlord did it on paper too, but when you put it in the computer program, it's eye-opening. The numbers they're not as good as what they seem to be. Right, Snorlord? Best coffee in Seattle area, what is? Yeah, spreadsheet. I used to do spreadsheets. I made all my own spreadsheets. Godson S. Burger 6604, he's got a YouTube channel. He made his own spreadsheets. And I made my own spreadsheets, and I gave them to drivers years ago. Long time ago. And I had it all done up to figure everything out. But it wasn't as pretty, you know, as the Truckin' Pro program. Because it was spreadsheets, right? And I didn't have the graphics and all that good stuff, you know. But it did exactly what I needed to do. I kept track of everything. And then I found Ray's program, I don't know, years and years and years ago. I got the very first program he ever made, I think. And I just kept upgrading and buying the new ones as they came out. So anyway, we're going to see everybody later. If you're out there rolling, be safe. If you're at home, enjoy your home time. I'll make it there tomorrow. And like I said, I'm just over 100 miles from the house when I deliver. But I said, you know what? I think I'll try to find me a load that I could take over and deliver either tomorrow afternoon or Monday morning. Just take it home with me. And I found the load. I found the load, my friends. So instead of going home that 130 miles and waste $55 or $60 in fuel, I'll take a $700 load over there. And it drops just north of my house. And yeah, I'm leaving this video up. And we'll see y'all later. And I'll be waiting in the morning for the Pale Rider coffee review. We'll see you.